before, and mind you, it's a 2-mile hike. She's experiencing heat exhaustion into the hike, and everyone has to stop, and she somehow has this foil blanket over her, and the tour guide has to call search and rescue to send a helicopter to pick her up. And then the search and rescue helicopter comes, and she is airlifted out. This is where your lifestyle impacts those around you. Because of that, no one was able to enjoy the hike. And no, I guarantee you, that was not heat exhaustion. Because no one else was experiencing that. This is due to lifestyle choices. And you ruined the hike for everyone.
Before hiking the Mist Trail in Yosemite.
Hi, I'm Sarah. This is me before hiking the Mist Trail.
Hi, this is Christina. This is me before hiking the Mist Trail.
Hi, I'm Katie, and this is me before hiking the Mist Trail at Yosemite.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and this is me before the Mist Trail hike in Yosemite National Park.
I'm Jamie, and this is me before hiking the Mist Trail.
Hi, I'm Cass, and I feel terrific. This is me before the trail.
Oh, I'm Phil. This is me before the Mist Trail.
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is me hiking a trail. Before I hike a trail.
Hiking just 2 miles, and her hiking group could now be facing a $70,000 helicopter rescue bill. The video showed Grace starting the hike before later being airlifted by a search and rescue helicopter. Grace became too weak to continue after walking about 2 miles, so the group stopped while guides wrapped her in an emergency blanket and called for a helicopter. Many people focused on Grace's size, arguing that her physical condition may have made the hike more difficult. Others pushed back, saying she is an adult who chose to join the hike and that heat exhaustion can happen to anyone in extreme temperatures. Many users questioned why a helicopter was needed for a trail that was only about 2 miles long, with some saying it would have been faster to walk back. Others argued that once someone is suffering from serious heat exhaustion, moving them without medical help could make the situation worse. The $70,000 rescue bill has added even more controversy. The members of Grace's hiking group may have to share the cost of the helicopter, leaving the entire group facing a huge bill after what started as a short hike. What do you think?
We have an update on this Grace thing, because I was like, all right, what is this trail about? Because I was under the impression it was more of a stroll, beginner level. I think a lot of people are assuming such, because that makes this even more absurd. And you can't believe everything you read on TikTok, because some of these commenters are like, she didn't even make it a mile in. I kind of think she did make it. Oh, wait. I need to figure out. Yeah, she did, because I just watched the original. Yes, okay, sorry. I found the original creators' videos. And I'm looking at the date of these videos from when this hike took place. It's 2 years ago. Why is this surfacing now? Why are people getting a hold of this now? And it's like everywhere on on TikTok right now. But that is a strenuous hike. It is only 3 miles, but it is 1,000 feet elevation.
Welcome back to A Minute with Chelsea. It's the part you've been waiting for, part 2. So, to recap, the Hobbit hikers hiked to the top of Vernal Falls and gained about 1,500 feet of elevation, maybe 2,000 feet, I'm not sure. My watch died because it was so much work. The Mist Trail was beautiful, the waterfall was beautiful, the stairs leading up to it were like the stairs to Mordor. It was terrifying, but we all made it to the top, and we were all super proud of ourselves, and we were just like, wow, we did that shit, look at that. At the pinnacle of the waterfall, we stopped and we had our lunches, and we filmed some TikToks, which are already posted on my channel if you want to go see it. There were so many squirrels around us, they wanted to eat all of our snacks. Everybody was feeling really good because we felt like we just conquered a really difficult thing, because we did. The only thing I noticed was that Grace's lips were turning kind of purple blue, and she didn't look like she felt very good. But I chalked that up to climbing a fucking mountain. Look at these little hogs. They aren't scared of anything. They come right up to you and they're like, excuse me, can I have that? And you can't feed them because they charge you like $500 if they catch you feeding. Building a nest. I can't stand it. I think I filmed the squirrels more than the waterfall. Anyway, let's get back on track. We had a little huddle with Phil. He took a picture and a video of us at the top. and he told us what to expect from here on out. He said we have some switchbacks to go up to Clark's Point. They're all rocks and they're all in the sun. Then there's another about 2 miles of switchbacks to head down the mountain straight down to the base, down the John Muir Trail. We said, okay, bet, let's do it. But then my trekking pole broke, so Phil and I stopped. We were in the very back of the line, and he was like, fuck that, let me just get some medical tape because we could not make it work no matter what we did. It just would not go back together. As he was fixing my pole, he was like, hey, I'm actually kind of worried about Grace, and she just passed us, so I'm gonna run up there and check on her. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you for fixing my trekking pole, I'll meet you there. When I got there, this is what I saw. Grace looked like she was about to die. Phil looked like he was about to throw up from stress. All of my survival instincts took over at this point. I moved Grace to the shade as much as possible. I made her a shade out of an emergency blanket that was in my backpack. Phil called search and rescue. He called his boss. He texted everyone he could think of. We only had about, half a bar of service, so you really couldn't do much. I had an emergency blanket in my backpack. I had body wipes in my backpack. I had a neck fan. I had a cooling towel. I had electrolytes. I had candy. I had literally everything we could possibly need. Phil and I used all of our water, putting it on Grace, like in her shirt and in her hat, because she would go from super, super hot and sweaty to freezing cold with goosebumps. And I felt her skin as this was happening, and it was not in her head. It was really happening. At one point, she blacked out a little bit on my shoulder, and I was holding her up. And then the worst thing happened ever. She had to have diarrhea right on the side of the trail. I held the emergency blanket and Phil held the other side and just kept saying, get it out, Grace, you're fine. And I was like, this man, it deserves so much. He gave us privacy while we cleaned it all up. Then the search and rescue team showed up and they helped us. They took Grace's blood pressure, which was 200/100. They gave her IV fluids with Zofran and hydration, and they hung that from a tree. They were constantly monitoring her. They gave her as many things as they could think of. Grace would not drink her Gatorade because she thought she would throw up, and I was like, stop giving her Gatorade anyway. She can't have that if she has heat stroke or heat exhaustion. It's gonna make it worse. We need to cool off the outside of her body. Also, look at this idiot. I don't care if she watches this, you are stupid. That is the dumb. You're wearing fucking stiletto boots, you're dumb. Then we saw the helicopter and it took a couple laps just to look for us, but it took about an hour for that to happen. So I decided to be smart. I ate the leftover lunch I had, and I had grapes because I was running out of water because I poured all of it on Grace's head. Search and rescue took over the shade situation, so I got to be relaxed for a minute. This took about 3.5 hours. So while I'm sitting here with Grace and Phil and waiting on the helicopter with search and rescue, the rest of the group has hiked up to Clark's Point and has started to hike down the John Muir Trail. Then search and rescue said, hey, I need you to walk up the trail 100 yards and I need Phil to walk down the trail 100 yards and block traffic because they can't be here because of the helicopter. I said, okay, great. I go to block traffic. I tell people they can't go past me. Then a girl next to me has a hypoglycemic attack and her boyfriend is like, hey, my girlfriend could die. Do you have any candy? And I was like, actually, that's the only thing left in my backpack. So I give this girl my candy and I was like, I couldn't let her look in my backpack because also I had a bag of diarrhea wipes in there. And I was like, damn, all I have in my backpack right now is candy and diarrhea. Then they dropped off a man in the helicopter and I was like, what are they doing? Why are they dropping him off next to us? That is not where Grace is. I had just reapplied sunscreen and put Aquaphor all over my fucking face, and then this helicopter comes by and shoots dust all over my head and all over my face. I look like a goddamn sugar cookie, like a snickerdoodle covered in brown sugar and cinnamon. They dropped off this dude in the forest and he had all the gear. Then they pulled the rope up and they dropped another guy down, and then we were like, well, where the hell are they? Then these two dudes emerge from the forest and I'm like, hey, she's down there. So they start going down to where Grace is, 100 yards down the trail, down 2 switchbacks. Mind you, the rest of the group is now halfway down the mountain. Then they pulled Grace up. She said it was like wearing a thong from hell. It was up her butt crack, and she said she would not unclench any part of her body because she was terrified if she unclenched, she would fall to her death. They put a helmet on her and earplugs, and she said she closed her eyes because spinning in the air like a ballerina was not something she really wanted to feel at this moment. I was fall or puke or shit or piss as she was going up. We'd already had a diarrhea explosion. I was worried we were going to have a vomit explosion, and they took the helicopter right over my head. So this footage that you're watching right now, I am sitting on a rock, and then I am laying on a rock, and then I am literally filming right above my own face because I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. And I was like, great, this is probably the moment Grace pukes on me. We are bonded for life. We will never not be bonded, and Phil, bless his heart, is bonded with us forever. At the last campfire, Phil said, y'all are a really solid group of people. And Grace said, yep, unlike my shit. So back to the rest of the group, they made it down to the John Muir Trail, and then they had to hike down all the switchbacks. Phil and I, after Grace went up in the helicopter, saw the side view of the waterfall because he said, well, we're already fucking late, we might as well look at it. And then we had to hike up about 6 switchbacks to the top, and I was exhausted because I'd been out there for 4 hours longer than I expected. I had no water. I said, I am dying. I had half a Gatorade that I stole from Grace because she couldn't take it on the helicopter. Phil was also out of water. I had 3% on my phone, Phil had 4% on his, and we had no service. We hiked down, every step was fucking agony, and then Phil yanked me across the trail because there was a rattlesnake. He said, Chelsea, I can't have any more action today. When we finally made it to the bottom 3 hours later, everyone cheered, including people we didn't know. I was the last person off the trail and off the mountain. That was probably the closest I came to crying, was when people cheered. At the bottom, Sarah handed me a Diet Coke and a pizza. Grace bought me a sweatshirt and a hat, and she joined the group, and she said, sorry you had to carry my diarrhea down a mountain.